And as an adult, when she finally went to Japan, she just felt like deep inside, she's Japanese. I guess the reason why I do hate these allegations towards her, it's because she's white. If this was a Konnichiwa, minasan, kyo desu. A popular American musician has gotten some heat in recent news, apparently for some Japanese cultural appropriation. That's what we're going to talk about today, but before that, guys, we are close to 200,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Gwen Stefani is a popular American musician. I would say she was in the height of her career in the 2000s era. And Gwen Stefani is very interesting because she does find inspiration in many different kinds of cultures. At one point, she was wearing African-style clothing, and in 2004, she made the group Harajuku Girls, which featured Japanese and Japanese American dancers. And when she was younger, her father worked for the Japanese company Yamaha, and because of that, he went on very frequent trips to Japan. So when he would come back to America, he would tell his daughters about all the amazing things about Japan that he's seen and experienced. So that made her very interested in Japanese culture. And as an adult, when she finally went to Japan, she just felt like deep inside, she's Japanese. I guess more so identifying with the culture and loving the culture. And she's even calling herself Japanese. And that has offended a lot of Asian Americans because they feel like she's culturally appropriating Japanese culture. And I think a lot of this issue also stems from American politics and more importantly, identity politics. I think America is one of the most diverse cultures in the planet, in which we have such a combination of different kinds of people living in one space. And because of that, I believe it's put racial identity above a lot of things, or we consider it extremely important. And I do believe part of that is because of the mainstream culture wants to make people separated from each other, or they want to keep people in certain boxes. Like, we're not just all Americans. You have to be Black American, white American, Asian American. I'm not saying, seeing the difference between races is wrong. I think America just has a very hyper-sporadic view of race, that race is like the most important thing when it comes to almost all areas of life. I also think because of that, there has been a current movement that really despises white people. So basically, if a white person enjoys an aspect from a different culture, they're deeming it as cultural theft, cultural appropriation. You're abusing someone's culture for your financial benefit. So a lot of Asian Americans believe by Gwen Stefani embracing Japanese culture, she's actually offending the Japanese or using their culture to make profit. However, what I find interesting is that many Japanese love the fact that she's embracing Japanese culture. She's helped spread certain aspects of Japanese culture to the West. And I think culturally, Japanese people love when other people or other kinds of people embrace their culture. The reason why I do hate these allegations towards her, it's because she's white. If this was a Black person or Latin person claiming to be Japanese, I doubt it would get as much heat as it does now. Because in America, we have such an inferiority complex to white people. It's always minorities versus white people. And it's like whatever white people do, minorities kind of have like a very close look to criticize or to comment on anything white people do. Because I think, for example, manga is an aspect of Japanese culture. But I've seen other races of people trying to partake in that certain Japanese culture. There's Black people who draw manga, there's Korean people who draw manga. Is it a cultural appropriation when they do it? But if a white person does it, it's wrong. And if you're a Japanese person watching this video, you're probably like, what's the big deal? But that's because I believe a lot of Japanese people don't buy into identity politics. Because in Japanese culture, race is not that big an issue unless you're talking about foreigners and being non-Japanese. But I guess more in the aspect of like, if you're non-Japanese who embraces Japanese culture, the Japanese will like you. And I've seen this where some ethnicities identify with a different culture. It just speaks to them, or there's something about that culture that just makes sense with them. I would more so have a problem if someone was downplaying their own culture and their own ethnicity to praise another one. If that was a foundation of you liking another culture, then I would have a problem with that. However, if you just like a culture and just like it, you embrace it, you made a music group about it, you made clothing line, you've made that culture more popular in the world, I think you're doing that culture more good than bad. I just believe in general, for Americans, it's now popular to hate white people or criticize them or accuse them of doing things that they're not really even doing. I think this is just another way of saying screw white people to people who obsess about race or think they're inferior to white people. And I don't believe I'm inferior to white people, so I can care less what people do with their lives. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Honto, arigatou gozaimasu. Minna, kiyotsukete. Ja ne.